everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. To my returning visitors, I welcome you back, and to my new visitors, I hope you subscribe and stick around for this cheesy, comforting recipe I'm about to share with you. If you're looking for a fried food recipe that is a crowd pleaser, then this is it. Today, we're making Parmigiana di Melanzane, or Parmigiana, which is a classic Italian recipe from the South. It's a comfort food that is missing in your repertoire. It's cheesy, very filling, easy to cook, and it can be made the day before. And it is family friendly. So come on. It ticks all the boxes. So what are you waiting for? Let me show you how to make it. It is a recipe that I highly recommend you learn how to make if you like fried foods, if you like sandwiches, because this is something you make and you stuff it into that ciabatta and take a big bite and have the nice juicy tomato just dripping down your chin, and you just don't care, and by the end of it you're stuffed and happy, very happy. I think I really need to stop rambling right about now, so I hope you can't hear the construction noise going on out there, because it's awfully difficult to run away from in Malta. So what do we need for our Parmigiana? Some grated parmesan, fresh mozzarella, some passata which has been cooked, salt, and of course, basil. And how dare I almost forget the star ingredient, which is our eggplant or aubergine. But first off, I need to tell you about picking the right eggplant or aubergine. Should be green, should be firm, should not have any discolorations, should be nice, beautifully purple. And that's pretty much it. So let's cut into it. Oh wait, before you do that, you need to make your sauce. Tomato sauce, that is. The link is up above. I prepared a water bath for the eggplant. So after we slice into it, we're gonna put it into the water bath that has some lemon juice, just so that we can keep it from discoloring. Okay, let's go. Now that I already told you about these, I'll just put them back in the fridge. And now slice the eggplant as thinly as you can. For the brave, you can use a mandolin, though I have steered clear of it after being badly cut once, so I'm yet to garner the courage to use it again. And once about a half of the eggplant is cut, just add them to the lemon water. And now we're going to prepare the flour and the eggs, which I probably should have mentioned before. So yes, we need some flour and some eggs that we're going to use for coating our eggplants before we fry them, before we deep fry them. Oh, I love deep fried foods. Anyway, see you soon. I use 2 small eggs for good measure. There's nothing I hate more than going halfway through the dipping and I can slowly see that I need more eggs. Anyway, there we go. Okay, let's move things around here a little bit. So now what we need to do is just line your chopping board with some clean kitchen towel. Oh man, I just poured water. And dry the eggplant. Just do that. I'm having a little too much fun with this. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, you need to drum roll your eggplant slices to soak up the excess water. Okay, let's be serious now. Just tap your eggplants so that the kitchen towel can soak up the excess water. And while the oil gets hot, we'll just move things around. So that is going over there. No, wait. I got that wrong. It's the flour first and then the egg and then the dip. So what we're going to do is take our drained eggplants, toss them on the flour, and then dip it into the egg and into the hot oil. Make sure you have a plate lined with kitchen paper towels to drain the excess oil after frying. Oh, and I've got one more thing. 1 minute, I'll be right back. And this is my tip. I use chopsticks instead of, I don't know, forks or whatever else you'd use to dip the eggplants into the hot oil, because I find that they don't stick so much on the chopsticks. So way better I was wondering why it was taking so long for the oil to get hot. I didn't switch on the switch. Sometimes it is seriously the simplest of solutions, and yet we just like to complicate stuff. You know what? While we wait, we could be, preparing the aubergine or eggplant. It's so difficult, trying to remember which word to use because it's aubergine in one side of the world, it's eggplant on the other side of the world. So whichever side of the world you're watching this from, please forgive me if I happen to say aubergine instead of an eggplant and an eggplant instead of an aubergine. I welcome you both, everyone, and I'm thankful. So anyway, while we're waiting for the oil to get hot, let's just let's just flour the eggplants. I just do that one at a time. Just put the flour on it and give it a little rub just to get it all over. And then tap to remove the excess and put it on the side. If you hear this slight buzzing sound like zzz, that's my fridge. I do not know what is wrong with it, but you know what? You know what's the worst is when I'm working, because I work from home and it's right in front of the kitchen. Where I sit is right in front of the kitchen. However, there are moments when it is so quiet and then you just hear this fridge start to moan. And it really, really gets to me because sometimes even when I'm sleeping, I can still hear it. It feels like torture. This is going to save us a lot of time. So at least we're doing two things at the same time, which is always a good thing. Well, not really, but in this case it is. If you happen to love this recipe, I really hope you tell me about it. If you happen not to like it so much, that's me trying to be polite about you just not liking the recipe. But yeah, if you happen not to like it, I'd like to know why as well. I mean, I'm curious. One way to know if the oil is hot is to dip your chopstick into the oil and see if it forms a sizzle around the chopstick at the bottom. Woo, we finally got it hot. Okay, so I use a fork to dip the eggplant into the egg and the chopstick to do the flipping. Make sure you shake off any excess egg before putting the eggplant into the oil. Use the chopstick for the flipping. Do not overcrowd or heap the eggplants over each other while they're frying. Uh-oh, seems we have a dripping situation there. Flip them. When frying the eggplants, make sure you do not let them brown too much. Just until they're nicely light golden brown, then yank them out and place them on a plate or a tray lined with a kitchen paper towel to drain the excess oil. Oh, won't you look at those beauties? Anyway, on to the layering. Typically, this is an oven dish, but I prefer to do it over the stove as it's ready in 10 minutes or less, and it's not as drying, well, in my opinion. So start by spreading a bit of the tomato sauce, then layer your fried eggplant or aubergine. Add a layer of the tomato sauce, then top that with a grated parmesan, basil, and the fresh mozzarella. And if you wish, a sprinkle of freshly ground black pepper. And when that's done, we move on to our final layer, which will be topped by the remainder of the ingredients. But this time, you do not need to add the black pepper. Now set the pan over low heat, cover and let that simmer. At this point, we're only aiming to incorporate the ingredients together and melt the mozzarella. Check on your Parmigiana every few minutes to ensure it is not burning or it needs to have the heat reduced. After about 7 to 10 minutes, it should be ready. Let it cool for about 10 minutes. During this time, it will firm up. If you want to sandwich your Parmigiana, then here we go. Don't ask me what this looks like. Anyway, slice your bread. If you have ciabatta, lucky you. Use that. We didn't have any ciabatta at the store, so we opted to use this bread, which also did the trick. But since it had too much in there, I decided to chuck that out. Now cut your Parmigiana. It hurt me to imagine what I was doing to my pan with that knife, but hey. Now stuff your Parmigiana into that bread and don't worry about any juicy drippings on your chin from the tomato and mozzarella. Trust me, this recipe is worth the excruciating 1 hour or so that you need to wait to devour it. But of course, if you don't want the bread, you can eat the Parmigiana as it is, which is just as, it's just as good. So are you gonna make it? I hope you do, and I hope you come back again. Please subscribe, share this recipe with your friends, and have an amazing day wherever you are. Bye. See you again soon.